All right, welcome guys to the session, advanced session for zero-day cybersecurity class. This week we'll take the Vulnhub box Inferno 1.1. You can download the box from Vulnhub and just configure the settings so that both run on the same network, or if you're using it locally in your machine, then set it up as the bridge network, and that should be the setup for the machine. Okay, so let's get started. Um, let's close that. Huh. Once you run it, you'll just stop here at the login page. While that happens, you can just search for a basic Nmap scan and check what is the port of the machine. So what is seen there, /24, so that it runs to the entire subnet. So that we can check what are the ports and everything that are available to us from this machine. So while that happens, okay, so I see a lot of them, but most of them could be just baits. So let's do another scan. I already have an alias setup. It's gonna, like, just a basic one taken from IPSEC, my YouTube channel. Basic SCSP to check the version and the scripts. -A for aggressive scan. -P for all ports, and -T4 for I guess for better speed. I think 6 to 7 variations of that. So I'll just run that. Just make up a small subdirectory for that. Dir Inferno, cd Inferno, and yeah, now let's do the heavy scan here. Oops, I forgot. Was it 10.0.3? Let me just run it again. Just remember the IP address of the machine. Okay. The IP address is 10.0.2.33. All right. So let me do a heavy scan 10.0.2.33 and name it. Just do a T instead so that you guys can see it while it happens. Tinferno.nmap. So while that happens, we could just check the HTTP port, as a website is usually common in these type of machines. 10.0.2.33. And yeah, there is a website. We could just check the source. Nothing much. We do have one picture, but I don't think anything else is available here. There's no subdirectory directly given in the images. So yeah, we could just check as robots.txt before we do the GoBuster check. Since we do know the web page does exist, we can go ahead with the GoBuster. So Vulnhub/Inferno. So yeah, GoBuster. GoBuster dir -u to specify the URL, -word list to specify the word list we are going to use, which is a Derbuster medium word list. -x to the extensions that we want to check for. Extensions, and -t for the threads. Yeah, and again, let's just save it in a file. So this time let's make it inferno.subdomain. While GoBuster, okay, not 10.0.32, it is 10.0.33. My bad. Okay, there we go. While that happens, you can also search for Nikto so that it searches what is the technology being used, and maybe some more details about the website in general, not just a subdomain. So let's run a Nikto -h and 0 to 33. Wait, -h or -u? No, it worked. All right. Also, while that's happening, we saw this index.html. We noticed it already. 1.jpg, we opened that, and there's a /inferno. This is a different domain, so let's open that. All right, so that's a login page for this. It's blocked, so we could run a small Hydra test on this. We could do it two ways. One, using the default word list, But good practice to do would be just before we do that. I guess I don't think we're gonna find anything else anyway, so I'll just stop the Go Buster. Let's do it here. So, where was I? Yeah, before we do the word list, the rock you word list to find the password, we could do a basic SEUL, which will take all the words that is possible from the server and then convert it to a word list. It just takes all the words that it can find in the current folder and the subdirectories and put them in a basic word list. So let's take that. Let's just add that to check how many words are there. It's not much because as we saw in the front page, yeah, it's just this word, so not much info there, but worth a try. So for the Hydra, we'll use Hydra for sending in the to brute force the password for the admin page. So let's take admin as the username. Usually there is a admin when you use this HTTP get forms or post forms. So for word list, we'll first do the word list we just created. So wordlist.txt minus f for the host name. HTTP get since it's a get request form. Then Inferno as the URL because first let's change the IP address to 33 since that was the IP address of the machine. The subdomain and again thread 64 threads. Let's run it and it's not much, so no password found. So since that didn't work, we could now go back to the default rock.txt word list. Let's open that. So yeah, there we go. And this again will take some time. The reason why the heavy scan the scan is taking so long is because we saw that there were too many open ports already available. Usually it doesn't take this long. Maybe you could just do a basic Nmap scan and go from there again. This time it just showed two because the other two were usually closed and they are false positive most of the time. So there's only SSH and HTTP. So we are right on track. And Ecto hasn't given us much. Okay, it's Apache server from Debian OS and yeah, nothing special here. By the time we did get a hit on the Hydra. So the username is admin and password is Dante1. So let's use that to log in. Inferno. Admin and Dante1. Okay, so this gave us access to one more login. We could run another Hydra, but before that, let's try the same credentials we just got. Dante1 and yeah, that was more than enough. If not, maybe you could have run another Hydra word list. Maybe this time even the usernames, not just the admin, but the words in the file also. Could have had much more stuff. But yeah, but other than that, now we are in this what looks like another web page management system kind of thing. We don't know what it is. All we know is it's a software called Codiad. I probably butchered that name, but yeah. Let's just see what else can we do in here. As an editor and some system settings, but nothing helpful. There are some extensions which maybe we could search, but since we don't know the name is Codiad, we could just search for some exploits on that. Let's just first do a search exploit. Codiad. Yeah, there are multiple vulnerabilities already available, so let's just go there. So share, yeah, that is exploits PHP and there. Okay, since there are too many, let me just close these terminals. Yeah, the reason why the Nmap scan took so long was this reason. Like as I said, there are too many open ports. Most of them were again just bait. None of them actually work. So yeah, that's about that. Let's close that one too. And it didn't give us much anyway. Let's close that. So we're back to the single tab and yeah, let's see the exploit. So it's an ID spent, it's a web-based ID. Okay, we just made it simplicity, exploiting. You can use XSS. There are some POCs available. Let me just check online if I could find a little more info on this. Kodiad exploits. First thing I get is a GitHub page which says we could do a remote code execution. So maybe let's try that. There's a straight up Python file available. Since it's a ready-made exploit, I guess this would be a better thing to do first. So just let me just clone that. Okay, we have it now, and yeah, cd into that and run the exploit. Is it Python 3 or Python? Exploit.py. It was Python. Uh, just come back first because this already I had done before, so still it's Python though. Exploit.py. Py. Alright. Yeah, it is a Python 2.7 file. So the different usages is we need to have the URL, the username, the password for the Kodiad page, the IP and port of the listener, where the shell is supposed to come, and the platform. Yeah, let's run this. Yeah, it's that is already sample gifs already available. Just checking once. Anything did I miss? I don't think so. So let's do it. So Python exploit dot py. Since it's already there, I'll just run it back. Only thing is, this extra admin at Dante one was because the page which we used to enter the slash inferno had a HTTP get login itself in the beginning. To bypass that, we need to send the admin creds before the URL and an at the rate to run it directly. This in fact works even in normal pages, so that it bypasses the HTTP get request and directly jumps onto the page. So yeah, we could do that. 0233. So let's do that. Slash inferno, admin and password. And the listener would be on my machine. So let me run a small listener. Minus LVNP and 8887. Let it be that. The last was the platform. It is Linux. So let's just run Linux. First we listen and we run. Okay. So they did give something before. Please execute the following commands. First, bash -c and opening a port on yeah, we're opening a port on 8888 and then setting up a listener on 8887. I don't want to mess anything any of the exploit they already gave, so let's just follow it step by step. So we have two. Since we have done both of them, we could now press yes. Yeah, first we got a shell on the echo one, and after that that sent the shell to the 888 one. So there we go. Since we do have the shell, let us I should have done one thing, my bad. Using RL wrap would give us a little more would be better formatting in general. Along with that, you could use you could go back to the previous commands and has other small um, additions which would be helpful for a reverse shell. So let's do that. Again, it's all set up and running. So yes, and yeah, it's all done. Just squeeze them on top. All right. All right. So we have a okay. Let me just export the variable extern equal to extern. All right, that worked. Yep, that worked. So we are www data, right? That is the ID. We could get up. Let's check if Python is available so that we could just update the shell. All right. Before that, our shell crashed. Not sure why, but let's do it again. I should have terminated the other connection too. Listening. Yes. Yeah, back to it. Let me just push this here. Better. Okay. Again, export term equal to x term or x term color, both work. All right. So which are the ID? So let's go to home directory. Do we have access to the users? Okay, that's one user, Dante. Let's see if we have access to this machine. And yeah, we can access his home directory. All right. The local.txt would be the user shell, the user flag. So now we would have to do prevesc. Okay. Before that, we can't open the local.txt because we need to first do an horizontal privilege escalation so that we first have access to Dante. So let's check what else do we have in his directory. Right, there is xauthority dot local dot profile and local.txt. Thought local.txt was available, but we don't. So let's see what else can we do. Let's go to the desktop, maybe anything available. All right, there are some text available here. Inferno.txt. All right, that looks like an executable. So file inferno.txt. Yeah, it is executable file. I don't think it has permission already set up, does it? Yep, it's only set up by the root. Let's use other two first. Let me just do a file instead, I guess. Paradiso.txt. Yep, another executable, and we'll get audio.txt. Yep, that's 3 executables. I don't think we could directly copy. Let's check if we have. Could we run these files first? What's the name? Inferno, right? Inferno.txt. Okay. Minus help. All right. Yeah, it has some default usage and seems like a pretty good binary. We'll come back to this. Let's just see the other ones too. Paradiso.txt minus help. Okay, it just prints the username associated with the current UID. All right. So yeah, that's www data as expected. All right, let's maybe check upload a lint piece and check if we missed anything. Yeah, let me just using basic Python server, I'll get that up. cd Vulnhub / Inferno. The lint piece here. Yep, and I already have an alias setup. It's just a simple HTTP so a simple HTTP server from Python. Yeah, Python minus m simple HTTP server. So I'll just do that. And yeah, let me just connect to that from here. wget HTTP and 0 to 30 to 15 port 8000 and linpiece.sh. Yep, we have a linpiece set up. Now let's give it executable permissions and run it. Right. Okay, that was quite fast. All right, so that's done. Let's come from up top. Okay, yeah, there it is. So ping nc, it is a vulnerable sudo version, but that's because there was a recent leak, nothing big. We could see that later. So that's one vector we could see later. Then let's just go down. Have nc, we have python, nothing huge. So yeah, this is why the we are getting those so many false ports open, because there's a netcat running on all of them. Just a diversion. Anything else we could use? Um, okay, Dante root. Okay, nothing really popping out. All this basic stuff. Um, okay, actually, okay. There were a lot more files than I missed. There are. We saw the documents. Okay, we didn't see. We just saw the desktop. There's document. There is downloads. In fact, downloads has some. There's a dot file also. Download.dat. Maybe that looks quite interesting. But we could go through all of them. Let's see this first. Oh, that I was a mistake. Let me run this again. Yep, that ready. And yes. All right. Let's go to the folder that we just saw. Export term equal to xterm color. All right. Cd into the folder. Run ls. So ls minus elh, because there's a dot file that looked interesting. So download dot dat. Huh. This is interesting. Looks like lots of hex, or it looks like hex. Hex numbers. We probably need to convert this. So let's use CyberShift. All right. RAM hex. All right. Something. No, there we go. We have a username and password for Dante. So I'm assuming these are the SSH grids. So let's do that. We don't need this smaller shell. Is everything. Okay, so SSH Dante at 10.0.2.33. Yes, and the password was this. All right, now we are Dante. I guess now we could run the local.txt. So yeah, that is the user shell, but yeah, that's not it. We still have to get the root permission. So we could run the linpiece again, but before that, let's do some basic stuff. We could just search for all SUID terms. So find slash minus perm minus 4000 and all the errors. Let's just dump it. Slash dev slash none. Nothing extra, just the default ones. We could do a sudo minus l to check the permissions, since we do have the password. Oh, I didn't even ask the password. But interesting. The root user, we could run t as root. So you could use that as a penetration vector. So let's go to GTFO blends and t. Yes, it should be simple. Since t is used to output, we should just copy another file. So yeah, if the binary is allowed to run by super user by sudo, it does not drop the elevated privileges and may be used to access the system files. All right. So we could modify files basically using the t command by just appending whatever it is to the end. So the easiest thing to do would be to just append allow us full permissions of root from this user itself using the sudoers file. Since the sudoers file anyway holds the what all what all commands can be run as sudo as root. So let's just do that. But let's just add that to the end. Except instead of root, we should just change this to never mind. Let's change this to Dante, the current user. And then, like said, it is dot slash t minus a. Pipe it to t sudo t minus a slash etc slash sudoers. So let's now do a sudo minus l. Yeah, I guess that worked. Not sure. So sudo password. We do have the password. Okay. Let's do sudo something sudo. Yeah, there we go. Since we added it to sudo files, we have root access now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's just go to cd root and that's proof.txt. That's it. Proof.txt. Oops. Okay. Cd root and cat proof.txt. Yep. And that is the root access for this machine. Yeah, that's the end of that machine. Any doubts? Yeah, it was Virgil, just a little more bigger, just all clarified or whatever. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Any doubts? Um, there could be other ways to solve this too, but yeah, this worked. Right, simple machine. Yeah. Any doubt, guys? Okay, if not, then that's the end of the class. Thanks for joining. You can leave.